guys. So today we're just gonna go random and just look at a whole bunch of different things. Um, as you know, I haven't been picking up too many comics recently, but yesterday, well, this weekend, because this is Labor Day weekend, my local shop is having a sale. So I did go yesterday, mostly for cards and singles, but they did have 50% off the back issues and the pins. So I did pick up a couple things just for fun. Um, First one here is Captain Marvel number 22. Uh, I believe the date on it was 1972. It's 20 cents. And I don't know, I just felt like getting some Captain Marvel recently. Saw some online auctions, but they were kind of So I figured I'd pick this one up. Didn't pay more than like $4.50, maybe the most, I think. And I don't know, this period of time for Marvel Comics when they had the red band across the top, that is like the sweet spot for me, personally. I think at some point, if I do go through my comics and just jettison, a good amount of them just so I can keep keep them in the house and not in a ridiculous amount of places. I think this is probably the kind of stuff I'd be keeping. These kind of Silver Age or Bronze Age things, and then a few modern storylines that I really loved. But so I picked this one up. I read this one already. Not the best. It's mostly set up and tying up what happened the previous issue. So nothing like the scene on the front goes on in this comic. It basically just sets up that Captain Marvel is not dead. He's been basically fused with Rick. I always want to say Rick James, but that's not his name. Rick the guy who hangs out with Bruce Banner. Anyways, this is the first issue where they kind of established that they've been combined in some way. And then at the very end, this monster shows up, but he doesn't start even doing anything yet. So I guess I should have picked up issue 23, if anything, to get the bombastic action that's on this cover. I will say I've always loved Captain Marvel's outfit. I know honestly, it's not that, there's not too much to it, but I've always liked the look of it. Plus, when he has the white hair, I just think it really is a unique look. I've always liked that look. The other issue I picked up while I was there was Captain Marvel number 35. So about a year later, this is when they hit up to 25 cents. And here we see Captain Marvel he's been colored in blonde hair. I think that's just for the cover because the cover's white here. But Living Laser is attacking Rick in bed. It looks like Rick's been knocked out. So this one's in my pile to read. I haven't gotten to it yet. Yesterday I read a couple things just here and there when I had time. But hopefully this is more action-packed than that last one. But again, just picked up a couple things. I wanted to read some Captain Marvel. I don't think I have much in the way of Captain Marvel in my collection. So those were a couple good pickups, I thought. And then other things I've read just recently. This is X-Men number 20. This is when it was Fabian Nietzsche and Andy Kubert on art. So after Jim Lee left, this is 90s boom to the extreme. Right after Jim Lee left and they started up Image, and everybody was just hand over fist making money. Kubert's art in this is great. This is when he was really putting the time in. Very Jim Lee looking style to an extent. And this is this particular issue, because a lot of the X-Men from this period are just jank issues. But this is the issue where Psylocke and Cyclops hook up for a second there. And then Psylocke. Um, One thing I did find weird, and I'll bring it up when the scene where she comes in dressed in like a little black dress to lure Cyclops. He's working on the X jet, and he looks like he's doing like an oil change. I don't know. Anyways, he falls off the ladder, and he's got like smut. He's got like stuff on his face, and there's no like Coke can in the scene. There's just oil. So I'm assuming that it's like oil on his face, and she comes up and licks it off of his face, and then they start making out. I find that a little weird. Like, what? You're licking like jet fuel off this man's face before you try to seduce him. I don't know. It seemed a little bit much. But I did like, there's very few X-Men issues from that time period that I'd probably keep. I think that's going to be one of them. And then a few other things I've read recently. This is Daredevil number 71. This is when it was 15 cents, so early 70s. Never pan up here, sorry. There we go. I bought a collection from a guy probably about 14 years ago, and he had a huge amount of Daredevil and some like Marvel action and things like that. This was one of them. I think this was the earliest in the run that he had, but it goes all the way through up. The first few issues are spotty, but then it gets into the Frank Miller run, and he has that all the way through. So I do have, I already have the Death of Elektra, but it has, all the way through the death and those issues after her death. But this was one of the earliest numbered ones he had. And it's funny how Spider-Man, these early issues are like he's making quips like Spider-Man, like all over the place. If you were getting beaten up in New York by a crime fighter in a red suit, if it was dark enough, I don't think you'd know if it was Daredevil or Spider-Man. Like he's throwing out quips and jokes just like Spider-Man does. It's very, I'm surprised they got away with it and having two heroes that were so alike. The human scenes are different, obviously, because he's in the courtroom and stuff. But when he's Daredevil, it's so spot on Spider-Man-ish. I don't know. I do have another issue, I think, around this period that I had signed by Gene Colan at a con. Maybe 2 or 3 years before he passed. And actually, I think I know exactly where that is, so let me go grab that. I'll bring it back. Yeah, so this is just a few issues later. This is Daredevil number 80. Still 15 cents, it says up in the corner. And I had this signed by Gene Colan, and it's funny because, he did the interiors on this book, but he didn't want to mess up the art. You can see he signed there in the corner. Just a lovely man. He was a little old man. If you've ever watched the Daredevil movie on the special edition features, they have a Daredevil documentary, which I highly suggest. You can find most of it, I think, on YouTube. But it has John Romita Sr., John Romita Jr., Gene Colan, Frank Miller, Stan Lee, and they're all talking about Daredevil. But I just found it funny. It's like, I bought this specifically at the con while I was there for him to sign, and then he signs it in the top corner like, oh, I don't want to mess up this artwork I did. So that was kind of cute. And I'm one of those people that at the cons I would just bring one thing for them to sign. I didn't know that people would bring like stacks of 50 books. I found that to be a little annoying, honestly, and kind of, I don't know, like, you're not going to keep them if you're doing that. I don't know. Another recent read. This is Moon Knight number 9. This is the second series, which honestly I always forget. The second series I don't like as much as the first and the third. This is when Moon Knight was very much doing his dual identity thing as a cabbie, and he had like a cast of characters in New York that would help him with things. It's a little more cheery and silly than I would like, but I have quite a few of these because they're easy to get, and I've always been a Moon Knight fan. And we have a couple issues of Marvel Adventure featuring Daredevil. Marvel Adventure was basically a reprint feature from back in the day. Might have to take a break because somebody seems to be doing their hedging. Apologies, because somebody like 3 doors down is doing their hedging, and apparently they have a very loud hedger. I hope that doesn't get picked up too much, but so this is Marvel Adventure number 1 featuring Daredevil. And then a few issues later I have Marvel Adventure number 6, which has the same bad guy, the Masked Marauder, in it. So these are fun. I mean, these have gone up in price in the years after, just because it's a good way to get early Marvel Adventures, but somewhat of the time period, but not like a modern reprint. So these are from like Daredevil number 7 and 8, which are being reprinted in this Marvel Adventure from late 70s, early 80s. So they still have that kind of Bronze Age feel to them. So that's it for recent reads. The other things I want to show you are just a couple things I picked up at Walmart today. The first one is this He-Man Funko Pop. And it's a redeemable code for an in-game item inside. Does Funko have a game now? Jeez. Interesting. I wondered why it said Funko Fusion at the top. I just bought it because it's He-Man, and he's lifting the sword, and that's awesome. And he's on a base. I wonder if these are like the, what was that Disney game for a while where you had the guys on the base, and then Lego did one. It looks like we have a few different things. We have a couple guys from The Thing, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Battlestar Galactica. We got this He-Man plus an evil one, Scaremare and Scarecrow, some T-Rex guys. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know what what the game is. I just wanted this cool guy. I wouldn't even want any of those other ones. And this box is pretty beat up, but I don't care because I'm taking him out. But just He-Man raising the sword, that was too epic to pass up. And the other thing I saw that was too cool to pass up was this Darby Allin figure. It says it's a Walmart exclusive at the top. It's got the Walmart exclusive sticker. And the very top is dark blue, I guess to show you that's a Walmart exclusive. But I've never seen a Darby Allin figure in person at the store. I think he's been maybe 2 or 3 figures in the line since they started it. And he just happens to be one of those that they haven't made a huge amount of, not like Jericho. So I'd never seen him at the store before. I have the LJN Darby Allin figure, those big chunky ones. I have him and Cody and CM Punk. But I didn't have a regular size Darby Allin. So when I saw this, I was like, well, I kind of have to. Because I might not see one again. And he looks pretty cool. I made sure to get, I looked at a couple of them just to see where the face paint was right and that the eyes were lined up. Sometimes I got googly eyes. So I picked this up. I think I have enough room hide it so my wife doesn't notice I bought a figure. I took the CM Punk to work recently, the original AEW CM Punk, with the jacket. So I had him, and I had the Supreme CM Punk. Supreme CM Punk is on my desk here at home, and then I took the other one to work, and I just put I took one of the Supreme heads, put it on there, because the original head just looked like the guy from Grand Theft Auto 4. And then I took he came with an AEW world title belt, so I took that. I made the X on it with a Sharpie, so that it's the CM Punk title, and I put that on him at work. So that was one less figure over here at the house. So I could probably just slot in Darby here, and she won't notice because it's the same amount of boxes. I also recently got the Undertaker, the Supreme Collection, or not Supreme, what is it called for WWE? The Elite, the bigger boxes. So I got him at work. I need to take him out and pose him. I keep forgetting that I took it to work. I got him and I got Roman Reigns, the one where he's kind of smirking. So I put Roman Reigns up, but I forgot to take Undertaker out and put him up. So I'll have to do that this week. But that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Pretty random, I know. But, when you're only picking up a few things here and there, I didn't, you kind of smush everything together. So, I hope to see you guys again soon.